Welcome to another episode of Where Was I? It's been at least a month since my last update. This is um, a video diary that I like to do for myself. It's enjoyable, and it gives me an opportunity to stutter online. This one's going to be about, well, it's probably about 12 different things, but it's going to be about bodybuilding groups on Facebook. Recently, someone posted a picture of a guy who had a tremendous physique, and the focus of the nitpick. There's always some kind of nitpick, something for some people to complain about. And the focus for this guy was a tattoo on his one calf. From the knee, I guess, down to the ankle, he had a portrait. And there was a small portrait on the other near the other ankle, on the other leg, but you couldn't see it with the tanning lotion or whatever, the tanning product that they had on during the contest. But he's in contest ready shape, low percent body fat, tremendous physique. Just some people try to bodybuild and they have some glaring body part that's just wrecked, a torn pec or high calves or whatever. But this guy just was Superman. But he had a tattoo, and then a number of them, the people who commented in the thread, had to complain about that tattoo, and it was amazing to me. It shouldn't have been, but the one person was a former Olympian, and she's now a judge, and she said that she would place anybody with a tattoo last, because it's a terrible thing, and it ruins the physique. A number of people agreed with her. I can remember years and years ago, there was a gentleman named Oscar State involved in the back, or the administrative, the judging portion of bodybuilding and competitive bodybuilding, and he said too that tattoos would be a reason for deduction points. So much that one of my heroes as a kid was Ron Tufel, and he was a frequent competitor. 5-6 years in a row, he competed in the AAU Mr. America competition, and he had this really cool skull and dagger tattoo on his one delt, on his one shoulder. And when I met him, he was guest posing at Mr. Lancaster competition, and he had it burned off. It looked like somebody took an iron and just burned his tattoo off. And I mean, we didn't have any discussion about it. I was just a teenager, maybe 20-something, early 20s, and he was guest posing, and I got to meet him, and I noticed that his tattoo was burned off. And at the same time, Oscar State was in the IFBB, and he had this policy. He was in charge, I guess head judge. I'm not sure what his status was or what his title was, but he was this little guy. I guess he was in the weightlifting circles, and then Ben Weider brought him in to run the bodybuilding end of things when he, early on. It's not a history lesson, but just that it was somebody in charge administratively, and he said deduct points for those personnel, those people, those competitors. And but this photo was the competitor, looked fantastic, and yet very few compliments of the guy's condition. He was in great condition, dieted down, great structure, attachments, all that, and then the tattoo. It just seemed absurd to me. But I mean, and that's why I really don't care about placings. Of course, it matters for the competitor because they get more status, bigger paycheck or prize money, maybe more sponsor opportunities if you're a winner, versus some guy that places 15th. You're going to get more attention, more followers on Instagram. I don't know, but I just have my favorites, and if I go to a show, it's not to meet the judges. I guess, I mean, I'm sure there's some great people who are judges, and even people who have a totally different philosophy or opinion on tattoos. That doesn't mean they're awful people. It just means that I would never make it as a judge. At least on a panel with that one Olympian. Or I don't know what her position is either. Maybe she's just she's not a head judge. I don't know. And that's not my concern. But I just thought it's kind of absurd for people that are, many of them are not anywhere near that guy's level. And even that Olympian is no longer at the level she had been. She's much older now, and she's just not who she was. I don't have bangs anymore, and she can't step on stage as an Olympian competitor anymore. But it's not. This isn't meant to be a rude commentary, and maybe that's a good segue into the next little bit. What is it? 7 minutes, and I'll be the only one to listen to this, which is good. I like hearing myself talk. Okay. There was another something on Facebook, and I saw images of or screen caps of this conversation, and it was a guy that was complaining that a female competitor, a women's physique, had transformed herself into a man because she had put on a really good amount of muscle. She went from looking like an average 20-something girl to a women's physique competitor. Tremendous delts, great shape and structure, and she's, if he knew her at all, he'd know that she's got a great sense of humor, and just if you follow her on Instagram or on Facebook, you'd instantly see the things that she does, the positive posts that she makes, and so perhaps he wouldn't have been so quick to just judge on the visual. He'd know the person too. But the fact that it was a man complaining about a female physique competitor in a female bodybuilding fan group, or a group where competitors and fans and just gym rats, whatever, people that like muscle, they join these groups. And so here's this guy who apparently, I don't get it. Why would you go into a female bodybuilding group and then criticize or insult? And that's an insult. He didn't say it as a wow, hey, you really put on some muscle. You have more muscle than most men. It wasn't like that. It was like, you look like a man. You look like a dude. It's like, and I went to his Facebook page, and I saw he had some ridiculous outfit. Now look, I'm wearing some hoodie and a I got my own ridiculous outfit on, but. And he's laying on the beach or some kind of, it was just a weird, to me, and not at all masculine. It wasn't some guy with a cigarette in his hand and a white t-shirt, pair of jeans, straddling a motorcycle. or I don't know, making a brick wall. What do men do? What's masculine? And so here's this guy laying on the beach with his plaid. What do they call those shorts that go down to your knees, men's or down to your mid calf? they weren't pants and they weren't shorts. They were, and then it's a plaid and then some kind of patterned polo shirt, and yet, I mean, you're not the picture of masculinity yourself, buddy. And again, pot kettle black. Am I the picture of masculinity? Maybe not, but I'm not criticizing a female bodybuilder for posting pictures or videos of herself in a female bodybuilding group. It's like going to subscribing or joining, following James Loves Orange Cats on Instagram. I've got an Instagram dedicated to it's anything now really, but it's like say 50% orange cats or cats, and then there's some dogs thrown in there, maybe a rabbit or two, and it's just memes, funny memes, just to make people laugh. But you follow that, and then you constantly criticize. Well, this is nothing but cats. That's horrifying. That's why would anyone post pictures of cats? Well, then unsubscribe. Stop following that group. And buddy, if you think that she's transformed herself into a man, and you think that she looks not feminine enough to fit your perspective or your desires, what you think is appropriate, then get out of that group. Or just shut up. Scroll on to the next post. There are plenty of other posts, I'm sure. I've asked what the group was. I want to join the group, not to talk smack to him. I did post a picture of him, something about and I did a screen grab, and I used one of those meme generators that had the lettering, something about the standard of masculinity or something like that. And then I posted it in the one comment, and then I deleted it after this female bodybuilder laughed at it. I thought it'd be just something she'd get a kick out of. But I'm not trying to get anybody killed. And people kill over the stupidest stuff. And I'm not even being exaggerating. There was something years ago. The guy had an argument on some kind of social media, and the other guy knew where he lived, drove to his house, and the guy comes to his front door and gets shot by this guy over some argument they were having on it could have been MySpace. Facebook, Instagram, it was some type of social media argument online, and then it turned into somebody getting killed. People are insane, and they've been insane for a long time. Maybe it's escalated. We just had 2 different mass murders. The guy with the massage parlor, and then the other guy in Colorado. Maybe I've got that wrong. But it seems like, to me, we've gone for a stretch without these shootings, and now people are flipping out again. So if you're reading this, don't kill me. I'm pretty old. I'm gonna die anyway pretty soon, probably. That's 14 minutes. Yeah, and maybe speaking of that. 59 years old, Pat Stallman, childhood friend. He drove me to school so many times. We hung out so many times. Rode our bicycles to town. Took swimming lessons together. He could swim before he took swimming lessons. The guy, he graduated from like minnow to I don't know, goldfish to shark, and then a whale or some kind of thing. But he just zipped through it, and so and we'd be. Have I mentioned that I stutter? We'd be driving home or riding home on our bicycles, and he'd be like miles ahead of me. He'd come over to my place, and I live with my grandmother. Grandmother raised me, and I had my weight set, and I had all the weights put on this one bar. It was like a Sears and Roebuck set, maybe 100 pounds on the set, and I had it all on the bar just for storage, just to set there in my room. And he came over the one time, he just picked it up, put it over his head. I don't think I could squat 100 pounds at that time. I remember getting the set, and my stepdad pulled the set out of the trunk because I couldn't pull it out with two hands. He reached in with one arm and threw it in the yard, and there I was. I was struggling to bench 40 pounds with this Sears and Roebuck vinyl weight set. Age 15, but Pat Stallman, yeah, he's passed away now. 15 years old. I might have met him earlier than that. And he was 59 years old and had stage 4 cancer, and he went fast. Another friend and I were going to go over and visit him just to see him, and I guess I just didn't take it seriously enough. It was horrible weather that day before when we planned to go over. We were going to go on a Friday after work. I guess I was going to drive down to my friend's house, and we were going to go over to see Pat and see how he was doing. He texted me and said stage 4 cancer, and then I didn't hear from him again. We had talked a little bit, a good bit via text back and forth about other things too, and but then from that text, it was like a week later, and I got a message from his brother saying that he had passed away, and it's just unbelievable. It's crazy. You think 59. But my grandfather died at 60 or 61. He was just a young man too. I mean, yeah, I'll be 59, so 60 is young. I guess it's old and it's not young. But it's not 70, it's not 80, it's not 85. My grandmother made it to 87, and my grandparents on my father's side both made it to 87. So I might, I guess I got it in my head that I'll make it to 87, but you never know. I thought Pat would live forever. I just couldn't perceive, I mean, 70 would have been young. His mother's still alive. I don't know if his father's alive. I don't remember hearing about his father passing away, but it just it was kind of like a gut punch or a surprise, a bad surprise. All right, 18 minutes. I don't think I'll even watch this one again. It's too long. But life is short. Often, even if you make it to 100, that's short. When you think about it, it comes and it goes fast. So I hope that if you are listening to this and you're still listening, I hope that you take some time to have fun today, because you might not get tomorrow. There, that's cheery. I am gonna go see. I have purchased my tickets for Godzilla and Kong. Godzilla. There's a movie out, and it's gotten some good reviews, so I'm looking forward to that. A friend from school and I are gonna go see it from where I work. I'm at Paxtang Elementary School right now. as their building sub by way of the substitute teacher service. And so I'm enjoying working for that school, and maybe I should go back and edit out where I gave the camera the finger. But maybe not. Yeah, I spent a lot of time, 15 years as a full-time elementary school art teacher, and I think that that did keep me on the straight and narrow in a lot of ways. You're held accountable, you're expected, you're held to a certain behavior expectation. You're supposedly a role model for children, although I've seen some pretty messed up behavior by teachers, and you really do have to have patience when it comes to children. You gotta have patience. So anyway, rambling. Where was I? It's 21 minutes now, so we'll wrap this up in the next few seconds by just repeating myself again and again. That's something I tend to do too. Maybe that's yeah, that's probably why I named this video diary Where Was I? I hope that you have a good day. Thank you for listening. And it is April Fool's, so I encourage everyone to check your shoelaces. I think it is untied.